Hi, this is Clay. Wanted to give you a little update on the bucket system. As you can see, the tomatoes are doing really well. You can see the stems on these things are as big as, well, they're at least the size of my finger. And these tomatoes and everything were planted Mother's Day, which that makes, it's been 4 weeks. And as you can see, if you look down the line, the tomatoes are doing very well.
So how did this...
And the zucchini is doing excellent. We've got little zucchinis already started on them. And the leaves are just hard to believe this is growing so fast. You can see there's a zucchini over here with a blossom on it. Very large. We'll probably be eating zucchini in another month. Some of it's got to be changed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of the tomatoes, like I've told in the other videos. If you're not happy with where they're situated, if they're right in direct sun, like some of, see, our cucumbers are doing well, but then the next bucket next to it's cucumbers, and that's not doing as well. It's getting a little bit of sunburn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what you can't do in a normal garden, I can do with this garden. I'll pick up one of these buckets and put it in place of something else so that you'll have a tomato, maybe a pepper, and so that the peppers and the cucumbers can get a little bit of shade from this direct sun, because these are getting a little bit of sunburn on them.
And we have a system in the backyard too,
and we can
which
move
is more
them anywhere.
shaded.
We're going to leave the tomatoes up here because in the backyard I'm keeping my cherry tomatoes and my grape tomatoes separate so that they don't cross-pollinate and have great big cherry tomatoes. I like my cherry tomatoes bite-sized. We live on a little busy road here. But the tomatoes are doing very good. These are big boy, and they're starting to flower out really nice now. I've got a lot of flowers on that end. And these three are the Romas, and as you can see, they're getting a lot of blossoms on them too. And the early girls are really doing well. And the cherry tomatoes out back have got little cherry tomatoes on them. And like I said, we've only had them in for 4 weeks, and they were just two and four leaves when I planted them.
So
this is 4 weeks growth.
Do you want to pick up a bucket and kind of show what's going on underneath there?
Well, this is the Romas. As you can see the root systems coming directly out of the tomatoes, right through the neti cup, right into the water. So as long as these troughs, I've got a sucker here that I took off, and I'm going to transplant it.
How much do you think it costs to build this system?
It's hard to say. Prices are different in different areas. The buckets I got for free, and you can get them for free too if you use your ingenuity, but most stores that do bakery and things like that, these are frosting buckets, and if you ask, they will give them to you. You might be able to find them locally on, eBay or Craigslist or anything like that. You might find somebody that sells them for $1 a piece or whatever. There's different ways to accumulate the different buckets.
Where'd you get the neti cups from?
The neti cups I bought on eBay.
What about what's that white thing? Is that a rain gutter?
It's a rain trough, yes, for rain gutter for the edges of housing.
And then the wood?
There are just 2x4s.
So how much do you think together it would cost if the buckets were free? I
can't give you because the eave gutters are going to be different prices from,
you think,
Home Depot or Lowe's.
500 bucks?
No, it was no 500
100 bucks?
It was no 100 bucks.
20 bucks?
It probably would have been about the 2x4s themselves were probably $3 to $4 a piece, and the eave gutters can run you probably $6 to $10.
So you think maybe 20 bucks to build a system?
Just the trough system.
Without the dirt and the plants?
Without the plants, the buckets, the neti cups. It's going to cost you a little bit for everything, but once you have the systems built and made, now this fall I will take, once we're done the gardening, I'm going to take a big tarp and dump all the dirt that's in these buckets on the big tarp. Add my chicken manure and things like that, the wood shavings from the guinea pigs, the rabbit manure. I'm going to mix it all up on this tarp and just cover the tarp and let it set for the winter. And in the spring I will just use that to refill my buckets. Put some new potting soil, buy a couple of bags of potting soil, repack my neti cups, rinse all the buckets out, and with the neti cups in there, these buckets will stack. So you can stack all of these buckets in a stack like that, stick them in your garage corner of your garage, in your back room, make your own greenhouse like I did. You can store them in places that, and as far as the trough systems, you can leave them right out, just turn them upside down so that they don't fill with water in the winter and freeze and crack, or you can just store them standing straight up in a corner somewhere. Come spring, put them down, start your plants in the house in January or February, whenever you like to start your plants, or go to a garden center and buy them if you don't want to have to take the hassle of doing that. And reuse the system over and over and over. I'm impressed with it, with most of the varieties that I've planted. The cucumbers I'm not, and the cabbages I'm not quite sure of yet, but as you can see, just about everything else is doing real well. I have to take the tops off from the peppers. They're just starting to get a little bit of green back to them. They were kind of yellow from the past few days, but we had a rain and it helped them back out. But the thing to do with these is you take the top right off them, cut them right off, and then they'll bush back. You hate to do it because you might have blossoms, but the thing to do is, I'll do it right here. You just pop the top right off in it. And what'll happen is in between each one of these leaves, you'll get 3 and 4 more leaves. And what it'll do is it'll make this stalk really strong, and it'll get almost as big around your finger after a while. So you want to take the tops out of them. I know you hate to do it, especially if they get little blossoms on there and you're thinking, oh, I can get peppers. But this way you'll set them back a week or two, but you'll have triple the peppers.
And all the animals will like the treats.
And you can give this to your rabbits, your guinea pigs, your chickens love this stuff, the geese. I mean, nothing goes to waste on this farm. Everything gets recycled. Whether I pick them off from the garden, give them to the chickens give me eggs, they give me manure, it goes back into the garden. So it's what they call it, the circle of life. That's what it is.
Well, we don't believe in the circle of life.
No,
we
we
believe God gives us
But this is
stuff.
This is what needs to be done, especially with peppers. I did this with the Hungarians in the back. They were loaded with little peppers, blossoms, and I hated to do it, but I did it because I saw different videos where it showed this is
he just came out and he ran back in. He's going to get his car done.
Is a plus, and I saw the difference in the videos of how it's done, and I'm going to benefit eventually. So I'm going to pick the tops off in these today, and we'll come back in a couple of weeks and I'll show you exactly what the change has been. I could show you out back. They've really started to double and triple. So I just wanted to give you an update on how good the tomatoes were doing after 4 weeks, and probably in a couple of weeks we'll actually have some tomatoes to either fry up as green tomatoes, or if you'll watch some of our videos, you'll see us making green tomato jam.
And it's yummy.
Yes, and we use it all winter long, and then we'll have some ripe tomatoes, and that's my favorite. I love my tomatoes and tomato sandwiches and tomato soup and all kinds. I love my sauces.
And talking about eating, we got to scoot in and have, what are we eating for lunch?
Rabbit stew.
So
some of our homegrown rabbits, and I know everybody's going, ew.
It's
but
delish.
If you'll eat a pig or a chicken, rabbits, nothing.
It's good. It's really good.
This is Clay and Ruthie from Poble's Backyard Farm, and join us again.